So today we are going to see the 10 hidden faceless niches that quietly make money in 2026. Let's jump in. This is our first niche. It's called Species Documenting AGI. They have 20 videos. When you look at how they are crafting their channel, it's mostly AI news, and they have 18 million views in only 20 videos. Now, I want you to look at how they have structured their thumbnails. Their thumbnails are very, very simple, but they tell a story. Mostly they are doing stories about AI or the aftermath of AI, what would happen if AI takes over, how AI companies create fake arms race. So they are trying to create these stories that can really open the eyes of people about the possibilities and the dangers of what AI could do. And they're kind of documentary related stories, but they're doing well. Now, you've noticed that when you look at the length of the videos that they are making, there is that kind of inconsistency when it comes to the length. Some videos are 13 minutes long, some are 10. The last one was 29. But I want you to look at the number of views. They are getting an insane amount of views. This video that was done 3 weeks ago, it already has 1.9 million views, which is really insane. So what are they doing? Mostly it is a documentary style of narrations that really open the eyes of people who want to know about AI. You know that AI is one of the most sought after technologies in this day and age. So people are always looking for these videos that explain to them how to use AI, how it can be of a challenge to them. So it is very important, if you're going into this niche, to do enough research, because when you do enough research, you're going to be able to create documentary style videos that are on point and that hit the pain points of the people who are looking for these technology related videos. But I believe this is one of the niches that you can go into, because there's not so many people who are doing these kinds of videos about AI in this kind of style. I believe this is why this channel is blowing up, and there aren't so many other channels who are doing this style of videos. But also when you look at the thumbnails, they really tell a story. The thumbnails are quite simple, but they are on point and also connect very well with the titles, which is also important. Now, this other one, it's called Dark Needle. They have 87 videos and they have already garnered 23 million views, which is quite something important. I want you to look at their thumbnail. The thumbnails are kind of consistent when it comes to how they are created. They're using sticky figures when it comes to the elements that are used in their thumbnails. But also when you look at the consistency of the text, they have that white text that is coupled with the yellow text and a black background. The black background lights up the elements very well, given that even the animated stick figures have that bright shadow effect which illuminates them very well. Now, when you are creating such channels, because this is in the psychology niche, you want to be able to have your own identity. This is very important, because later on when you are making these videos, you are going to take on things like brand deals. You're going to be able to tell a story, but you want that uniqueness. You want the users to identify you for what you're doing, but for the authenticity and the uniqueness. Now, the way you can create these kinds of animations and your unique kind of sticky figure, you can always use tools like Microsoft Copilot, or you can use a tool like Google AI Studio. They can be able to create a unique style of sticky figures that you can follow with through and keep on creating images that you're going to use as the layover for your videos. But I believe this is a niche that you can ably go into and be able to dominate and create videos that make money. Now, this one is kind of different. It's called Vintage American Machines. Now, what are they talking about? This one is mostly talking about people who love engines of cars, but mostly diesel engine lovers. Now, their kinds of stories are kind of good, but they are talking about mostly the things that happened when it comes to the decisions that were made by companies in creating engines. It's a kind of niche that is really distinct. It's in the car niche, but it's zeroing down to the stories that happened with how they created the engines, how they made them better, and how they are performing, what made some companies fall off when it comes to creating these engines. It's quite a niche. I want you to look at the latest videos. This one was created 2 weeks ago, 16,000 views. This one, 12 days ago, it's 47,000 views. This one is 7 days ago, which already has 83,000 views, and this one is 3 days ago. It already has 69,000 views. That means that there are people who are looking for these kinds of videos, and the people that you are going to get, they are mostly older people who have used these cars, and the demographics of older people means that you're going to have access to a high revenue per mil when it comes to the ads that are run over a video. But also, I want you to look at the consistency of how they create their thumbnails. The thumbnails are created with a character on the left hand side and the engine on the right hand side, and the characters are very visible. You can see that they are mostly vintage related style of thumbnails, but also the topics are really intriguing. So when you go into such a niche, you want to get facts about these engines, or you can even create another style where you're talking about elements and that are different, but with cars mostly. And with this vintage style, you'll be able to make money because your demographics are going to be older people who are currently paying. But given that it is in the American niche, which is quite something lucrative for this channel. This one is a boxing related channel. It's called Fighter Ryan, and they have 28 videos, and they have already garnered over 3.9 million views, which is something great. Now, I want you to look at the simplicity of the thumbnail. The thumbnails are really made by a simple text, mostly a black text which is coupled with a red colored text, but also it shows the activity of the people who are in the video. And now, when you're making such videos, what you want to be able to do is that you want to make your thumbnails calling and simple. I want you to look at the videos that performed well, like this outlier. It really shows the activity that is happening in this kind of thumbnail, which is quite simple but intriguing. What I noticed that this channel last posted their latest video is 3 months ago, so they've not been posting lately. When you are going into this kind of niche, you can always use sticky figure generated animations to really make the narrations even much more better. But you want to do videos that are even longer. This video that really performed well, it had 1.9 million views, but the video length is 3 minutes. You want to be consistent, first of all, when it comes to the minutes, and you want to do videos that are longer than 10 minutes, because when you have videos that are longer than 10 minutes, you have an upper hand of making more money when it comes to ad revenue. But also, you want to be consistent. You want to post videos at least every after 2 days, or every after a day, on a daily basis, which puts you ahead of other channels who might be in the boxing niche, who are explaining things about boxing and how to fight, how to defend yourself, who are not really putting out videos on a daily basis. You want to have that consistency because YouTube definitely loves the consistency. So let's jump into this other channel. This other channel is also intriguing. It's called Ed's Auto Review. What they're doing mostly is that they're reviewing vintage cars. They have 166 videos and they already have 30 million views. This is quite interesting. When you look at such channels, you know that videos can be made. Now, this is an AI related channel. What they're using to create the images that they're using and the narrations that they're doing, they are made by voiceover that is generated by AI. You can be able to create such a niche. But what you want to do research. When you look at these thumbnails, they're kind of different, but what they are doing is that they are picking on cars that were used, vintage cars that were used in the 1920s and the 1930s, cars that were used by people in the 70s, and they are narrating stories about the companies bringing them back to life and how they are transforming them. This is something that you want to do, but you want to be able to make proper research, and that research is going to help you to know the different kinds of cars that were used and how you can make the narrations even much more better. You can see that the thumbnails are quite vintage style thumbnails, but they are working. They are working. So you don't have to really reinvent the wheel when it comes to thumbnails. What you can do with the thumbnails that I believe also can work, you can have a distinct style, one single style of the text, and that can put you apart. But when it comes to the elements that are in the thumbnails, like the cars, you don't really have to reinvent the wheel because they are performing well. What I noticed with YouTube, when you're making YouTube videos, you have to ensure that you find out the patterns of the things that are working out. When you find out these patterns, you capitalize on them. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to know what really worked for this channel. Why is it getting views? And when you understand why they are getting views, you capitalize on that and you build on that, and you even input all other elements that are even much more better than how the channel is performing, and you can do a good job. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe to our channel. We put out videos on a daily basis. We want you to have a variety of different faceless YouTube channels that you can be able to start. So that is the reason as why we always put out a video on it every single day, so that you can be able to make an informed decision and you can go into this faceless YouTube automation business where you can be able to make money and give value to the viewers of various videos on YouTube. So thank you so much for subscribing. Let's go further. Now, this one is also an intriguing channel. It's called Curiosity Code. They have only 12 videos, but they have already made 3.4 million views. Now, what is this? This channel is really about science, psychology, and personal growth. The things that they are talking about really are simple daily things that can really help you to make your life better. It's all about psychology. But I want you to look at these videos, and especially these outliers, these latest videos, because the latest one, which was done 2 months ago, it has already 1 million views, and the other that was done 11 months ago, it has 2.3 million views. So they are simple videos that can be done. What I've seen with this channel, they were testing on various thumbnails until when they found a thumbnail that really worked out quite well for them, which is something that you want to do when you're starting out. When you're starting out and you don't have a pattern of a thumbnail, you can test out different kinds of thumbnails until when you find out a pattern that works out for you, and they found it out very well. But what I noticed is that they didn't have a consistency when it comes to making these videos on a daily basis. So you can improve on that. But also what you can improve on mostly zeroing down to a consistent style of thumbnail, like this one that they used to create the videos, the latest 2 videos. You can see that they created this video 2 months ago and the other 11 months ago. You really want to be better than that. You want to be able to give out videos consistently so that YouTube understands your niche, and then it can supply your videos to even much more people. But I believe this is a channel that can be executed effectively. What they are talking about, there are different hacks that you can also talk about, and with consistency and refining of your brand, it becomes very easy for YouTube to put out your videos. But also when you're taking on things like brand deals from other businesses and entities, it's going to be very easy because you will have branded your channel with an identity that is really understandable for them. This one is called Signore Gilele, and when you look at them, they have 59 videos and they already have 12 million views. This is quite interesting. I want you to look at what they're doing, and I want you to look at They are simple titles. The titles are very simple. This one says Antarctica's forgotten countries, America's forgotten colonies, Texas's secret forgotten flag emojis. Now, these are very, very simple AI videos that you can really create, but there is that simplicity. I want you to look at the consistency with the text. Their text is kind of orange colored, but also it is laid on a background that makes it bright, mostly on a black background. But also the simplicity of the elements that they put. These are mostly flag and map related elements, but they have captured the simplicity of how they create their thumbnails. Now, when you're going into such a simple niche, which is really executable, you want to have this simplicity when it comes to creating the thumbnails, but also you can copy the style, their style of how they use the word forgotten, and they couple it with other elements. It's quite simple and really catchy to the viewers. These are videos that you can be able to do, or you can even rent out the services of video editors. There are very many freelance video editors who can do such videos for you, and you'll be able to make money in a much more better way. Now look at this one. This one is also a faceless YouTube channel that is called Classic Spotter. Now what do they do? What they are doing mostly is that they're talking about different kinds of cars that people are still using. They have done 97 videos and they have 951 views. I want you to look at how they are crafting these videos. They are mostly vintage footage cars that are walking around in different kinds of cities. So they are saying classic cars in Paris, classic cars in London. Now, this is footage that you can get. You can get the services of an editor who can get you this kind of footage. And then you can make the narration even much more better. But also look at the simplicity of the thumbnail. The thumbnails really tell that story about the vintage cars that are still used. You want to have that simplicity, and you can be able to even make better narrations. Now, what I've seen is that the videos, most of these videos do not have the consistency when it comes to the video length. You want to have that. You want to have videos that are 10 minutes longer, but also you want to have the consistency so that when it comes to running ads, it becomes very easy to increase on your ad revenue. Now, this is a channel that can even make you more than $20,000 if you zero down on the basics of making a proper YouTube video that has connections with the thumbnails, the titles, and definitely the content that is crafted for the target audience that you are targeting. This one is called Stoic Philosophy Insights. They're mostly talking about philosophy insights and ancient wisdom that you can apply in modern day life. They already have 256 videos and they have made 3.3 million views. These videos are very, very simple to create. Now, what they are zeroing down, it is ancient Stoic wisdom, and the way they are creating their titles, it is quite simple. What I've noticed, what they have mastered, they are putting out videos on every single day. So they've mastered the art of putting out videos on a daily basis, which is something that you also want to create. And the simplicity of the elements that are in their thumbnails and the consistency of their text, which is mostly reddish, is also seen across most of these thumbnails. So these are videos that you can create yourself. You can generate these images using AI. You can generate the voiceovers using tools like 11 Labs. This is something that you can do at a very, very low budget, and you can be able to put out even more videos. But when you're doing research in this niche, you also want to look at this channel and also look at other channels in this very niche that are performing well to see how do they craft their thumbnails, how do they craft their titles. This is something that is very important. That is going to put you ahead of 99% of YouTubers who are making such videos, so that you can be able to thrive with such a simple faceless YouTube channel. Now, this one is the last one on our list. It's called Phenomena. So what does Phenomena do? Mostly what they're doing, they're mostly into science and tech, and they're talking about the different kinds of mysteries that are happening and the groundbreaking discoveries, mostly in space. They've done already 827 videos. and 16 million views. The reason as to why I brought them up is that this is a niche that is very, very easy to create. I want you to look at what they are doing when it comes to the thumbnails and the consistency. I want you to look at their text. The text is kind of consistent to how they put out the video, but also I want you to look at the many videos that they put out, because they put out at least 3 videos on each day. So they are putting out an insane amount of videos out there to see what sticks. Now, when you're starting out and you're testing out such a niche, you want to also do the same, because if you don't know what is really going to work out, you want to put out very many videos and you see what will really work out. But also you want to look at the videos that are really trending when it comes to this niche, and you get to see how you can emulate them. Now you see these videos that were done like 9 days ago, they are starting to pick up. So it's a new channel, but the method that they are using is that they are putting out too many videos out there and they are trying to see what really works. So when you're testing out and you're starting out in such a niche, you also want to do that to see what works. But also, as you're putting out new videos, you can use this trick of recursive improvements, and you can be able to improve on each and every video that you put out to test out how the audience is perceiving it. What are they talking about it? What are the things that are intriguing? What are those outliers that you can capitalize on, videos that are doing well, and you can capitalize on them and even do a much more better job. So I believe this is how you can be able to emulate such a channel and be able to even make over $20,000 when it comes to such science related tech videos that are quite anticipated by most of the people who are looking for these kinds of videos in this space. Thank you so much for sticking with us up to this end. I'm going to call upon you to subscribe, because we put out videos on every single day. On a daily basis, we want you to have various options of niches that you can start, so that you have to make an informed decision and be able to go into this faceless YouTube niche business or playbook with much more better information and options of where you can start from. So thank you. See you in the next video.